Hello students, welcome to the 12th online lecture for the subject of sociology. We will continue with the 5th chapter of our textbook, that is culture. Students, in the previous lecture we have seen that what distinguishes humans from non-humans is the possession of culture, which is the result of collective living. Culture refers to the way of life of the members of a society. It stands for the moral, spiritual and intellectual attainments of man. Dear students, in this lecture we shall try to understand the characteristics of culture. Let us examine its main features. Number 1, culture is acquired. Number 2, culture is abstract. Number 3, culture is shared. Number 4, culture is man-made. Number 5, culture is idealistic. Number 6, culture is transmitted among members of society. Number 7, culture is continually changing. Number 8, culture varies from society to society. Number 9, culture is an integrated system. Number 10, language is the chief vehicle of culture. Let's go in detail. Number 1, culture is acquired. Culture is not innate or natural. It is not inherited biologically by individual, but it is learnt socially by man. It is not an inborn tendency. Culture is often called learned ways of behavior. Unlearned behavior of individuals like sleeping, eye blinking, reflex, etc. are not cultural. They are purely psychological. However, shaking hands or saying thanks and dressing are cultural. Cultural learning takes place through symbolic interaction, that is through signs, symbols and gestures. So we can say that culture is not passed biologically from older generations to the newer ones. It is learned through experience. Culture is propagated through generations. Everything has to be learned in order to survive. The future generations learn to follow the same ideals. The individuals thus learn appropriate behavior patterns like speaking, dressing, greeting, praying, eating, reading, rules of personal hygiene, etc. very much through the process of socialization. They learn or acquire culture by living in a group. Individuals receive culture as part of social heritage and in turn reshape the culture. Culture is thus socially learned and also shared by the member of the society. Number 2, culture is abstract. Culture exists in the mind or habits of the members of the society. Culture refers to the shared ways of doing and thinking. We cannot see or touch culture as such, but we can only see human behavior. This behavior occurs in a regular patterned fashion and it is called culture. Culture consists of abstract ideas, values and perceptions of the world that are shared by the members of a society, which they use to interpret and generate behavior and that are reflected in their behavior. Number 3, culture is shared. Every culture is shared by a group of people. The cultural traits are shared by all the members of a society. the region they live in, the geographical conditions around them, their country's past, their belief system and values of its people, and the heritage they are proud of their culture. These aspects develop a sense of unity and belongingness among the members of the group because they are common to the group. People of the same community share the same values, beliefs, and traditions. They are similar in their language, manners, and the way they communicate. So we can say that culture is not individual but is shared. It is not something that an individual can possess alone. Example, the customs, traditions, morals are all shared by the people of a group. The inventions of Aryabhatta or Albert Einstein or Charles Darwin or the literary works of Kalidas, the works of different artists, are all shared by a large number of people. Thus, culture is something that is adopted, used, believed, practiced, or possessed by more than one person. Culture depends upon group life for its existence. Cultural traits do not belong to any particular individual, but they belong to the whole society. Number 4, culture is man made. Culture is a product of human social interaction. It is created by human beings and is meaningful only to them. For example, creation of various social norms, technology, music, religious ceremonies, marriage, and family systems are made by human beings. Culture is not a force operating by itself. It is not independent of human actors. It is a creation of society. It depends upon the continuance of society for its existence. Culture does not do anything on its own. It is not natural. It is very much a human product that is man made. Number 5, culture is idealistic. Culture embodies the ideas and norms of a group. It sets goals before individuals. It is the sum total of the ideal patterns and norms of behavior of a group. Culture consists of the intellectual, artistic, and social ideals which the members of the society profess and to which they strive to conform. Every society has a unique culture. There is also a tendency among the members of a particular group to regard their culture as superior and ideal. This feeling of superiority about one's culture is called ethnocentrism by W.G. Sumner. For example, the Germans may think that their culture is the best, whereas Indians may think that their culture is the best. Number 6, culture is transmitted among members of society. The cultural ways are learned by persons from persons. Many of the ways are handed down by elders, parents, teachers, and others. Nowadays, we see that the elders are learning from the younger generation on account of technological advancements. Transmission of culture also takes place among the peers. Example, the style of dressing, the use of new devices, etc. However, one does not acquire a pattern of behavior immediately. The next generation is taught the ways of life by their parents, teachers, mass media, and other members of the society. Example, Indians pass on their customs, traditions, art, way of the life to the next generation. In the same way, other societies transmit their culture to the next generation. In a family, parents transmit their way of life to their children, who in turn will pass it on to their children. This is how culture is transmitted from generations to generations. Culture is passed on through the means of language. It is not transmitted through genes. Language, in its different forms like reading, writing, and speaking, makes it possible for the present generation to understand the achievements of the earlier generations. Transmission of culture may take place by imitation as well as by instructions. Number 7, culture is continually changing. Culture exists as a continuous process. In its historical growth, it tends to become cumulative. It grows and accumulates with the passage of time. It keeps on developing as it is handed down from generation to generation. Thus, each generation adds some new cultural elements to the already existing one and then transmits it to the next generation. Culture is a growing whole which includes in itself achievements of the past and the present and also makes provision for the future achievements of mankind. It is a kind of stream flowing down through centuries from one generation to another. That is why some sociologists call culture the social heritage of man. It thus becomes difficult for us to imagine what society would be like without this accumulation of culture and what our lives would be without it. Culture undergoes a gradual change. With the passage of time, some beliefs changes, certain traditions or rituals are eliminated, language and mannerism of people change, and so does their culture. Example, nowadays with the use of mobile phones, we can see significant changes in traditional ways of communication. When people from different parts of the world come together, they influence each other and also influence each other's culture. Thus, a multicultural society is formed and at times new cultures develop. Due to education and increased awareness, newer generations become flexible to change. Some rituals, customs are replaced, some become less rigid, whereas some are altogether discontinued. Hence, we should know that all cultures change in time. However, the rate at which the changes takes place differs from society to society. Number 8, culture varies from society to society. Every society has a culture of its own. It differs from society to society. Each human society develops a culture that is distinct and unique. That is, it is different from other cultures. Cultures are not uniform everywhere. Cultural elements such as customs, traditions, morals, values, practices are not uniform. Ways of eating, speaking, greeting, dressing, living are different everywhere. Culture varies from time to time also. No culture ever remains constant or changeless. Every culture is unique in itself in a specific society. Indian culture is different from American culture and Russian culture is different from Japanese culture. The way of greeting people in different culture is different. For example, Indians join both hands and say namaste, the British shakes hands. Number 9, culture is an integrated system. Culture possesses an order and a system. Various elements of culture complement one another. At the same time, they are also interconnected and integrated with each other. Any new element which is introduced may be integrated too. For example, the value system of a particular society is closely linked to its morality, religion, customs, and traditions. Number 10, language is the chief vehicle of culture. Language and culture are interconnected. It is difficult to understand a culture without assessing its language. Language is the chief vehicle of culture. It has an important social function and fosters feeling of group identity and solidarity. Language is the means by which culture and its traditions and values are conveyed and preserved. Language is a part of culture. It helps in transmitting what was learned in the past and also helps in passing on to the next generation. Both language and culture are in a constant state of change and they shape a person's identity. Language allows us to pass down cultural stories and ideas as well as communicate our own thoughts and beliefs. Once language is acquired, it unfolds to the individual its wide field. So students, we have studied the characteristics of culture. We have seen how culture provides proper opportunities and prescribes means for the satisfaction of our needs and desires. Culture is thus a very comprehensive term and is something that has elevated man from the level of animal to the heights of man. Functions of culture. We thus realize that culture provides knowledge which is essential for the physical, social, and intellectual existence of man. Birds and animals behave instinctively. Culture does not exist at the subhuman level. It defines social situations for us and determines what we eat, drink, worship, etc. Our goals of understanding others, being obedient to elders, being loyal, patriotic are all set forth by our culture. Culture provides us with a behavior pattern and assigns us our status and roles. Finally, we can say that culture exercises a great influence on the development of personality. This is because no child can develop human qualities in the absence of a cultural environment. Let us now move on to the concluding part of this chapter by understanding the concept of cultural hybridization. Cultural hybridization is the blending of elements from different cultures. It refers to the ways in which parts of one culture get recombined with the cultures of another. In the globalization process, some forms of new and different cultural practice develops because of mixing of different cultural traditions. Cultural hybridization is a universal process. Globalization fastens the process of hybridization. Hybridization has become quick due to easy flow of migration, information, goods and services, as well as exchange of traditions. In cultural hybridization, something new is created with the coming together of two originally distinct cultures. We see hybridization in many aspects of culture like food, language, wedding practices, dressing habits, etc. For example, today we prefer Italian pizza with toppings of paneer, which is very much Indian. We also celebrate Valentine's Day, which we have borrowed from other cultures. This is cultural hybridization. One also needs to understand the process of globalization along with cultural hybridization. Globalization is the combination of two words, globalization and localization. Globalization is used to describe a product or service that is developed and distributed globally. However, it is adjusted to accommodate the user consumer in a local market. The term globalization was coined by sociologist Roland Robertson. Example of globalization: a global restaurant chain modifying their menus based on the unique culture they are in but maintaining their brand. For example, in India, McDonald's flavor their burger by making it spicy in order to suit the taste of the Indian people. Another example in our way of preparing Chinese food by adding the Desi touch to it. Cultural hybridization makes one learn to accept the merits of other systems. One thus develops an appreciation for other cultures and above all gives way to innovations. Here we come to the end of our lecture today. With this we complete our 5th chapter. We will start with the new chapter in the next lecture. Thank you.